Hi students, today we are discussing the unit number 4, the second part, behavioral design pattern. In second part, the second design pattern, that is nothing but in previous class we discussed mediated design pattern. Today we are discussing memento design pattern. What is the main intent of this memento design pattern? What does the short statement that tells you the main intention of memento design pattern? Let us see what is a memento. Or memento in the sense some remembrance, or we can say memorial, or we can say token. It's etc. If we have so many names, remembrance, memorial, and token, etc. What is the main intent here? Listen carefully, first of all, the statement here. Without violating encapsulation and capture and externalize an object's internal state so that the object can be restored to this state later. What this sentence meaning in the sense, memento in the sense the main intent, an object kept as a reminder of a person. An object is here an object kept as a reminder of a person, or we can say event. Just simply we can say that restore an object to its previous state information. Listen carefully, it's a very important point. To restore an object to its previous state information. The best example here, undo, it plays a major role, the operations undo or rollback operations. Let us take some real life example. In a bank account, if you have the money 1 lakh rupees, that is nothing but first state. Listen carefully. Okay, suppose here the bank is debited in a 1 lakh rupee, the bank is debited 5,000 rupees from your account. So here the remaining balance become a 95,000. That is nothing but a second state. Okay, so if you have to ask the bank, if you have to call the bank manager to call expiring about that particular issue, why you are debiting in my account 5,000 rupees, if you have to like this call expiring about that particular issue, again the bank will credited 5,000 rupees to your account. That is nothing but rollback. Okay, that is nothing but rollback. In the sense, the second state to a first state, it will come rollback. That is the best real life example. Okay, just here we have to be noted that the key point of this basic object here, the basic object that is stored in different states, the basic object that is stored in different states at any point of time, it will be stored. For example, if you have to take caretaker, the caretaker, what it can holds an array list that contains all previous versions of the memento pattern. Okay, that contains all previous versions of the memento pattern. It can store and restore, it can store and retrieve the stored mementos. Listen carefully, it can store and retrieve the stored mementos. What that the main intention, simply it is used to restore the state of an object to its previous state, what the memento captures here, the memento design pattern captures an object internal state, so that the object can take to be restored to that state. In future we are going to suppose to do restore the previous objects. In future we want to become restore the previous objects. Here it is mainly used undo and redo operations in most of the software cases. It is used undo and redo operations. like MS Word, PowerPoint, Notepad, and MS Word, Excel. Okay, likewise, if we have to be taken some, we have to be saved the data. What is the meaning of the undo operation? Undo here here it is the best. It is used to suppose it to do undo and redo operations and rollback operations and control plus Z operation. Whatever it may be, if we have to use here. Undo is an interaction technique which is implemented in many computer programs. So it erases the last change done to the document. If we have to done one document, it erases the last change done to the document and it reverting it to an older state and reverting it to an older state. Simply we can say usually undo is available until the user undoes whatever the user undoes all executed operations. And coming to the redo operation, what that means, it restores the most recent undo operation. Just if you have to perform on the document. Okay, just we need to read and prints the contents of the document. Listen carefully, if you need to read and print the contents of the document, the redo command just reverses the most recent change made by using undo operations. To undo an action on the edit menu, and we need to click undo, or we need to press Ctrl plus Z. Whatever operations we need to perform, just we need to last change done to the document, and just we need to reverting it to an older state. Okay, the user undoes all the executed operations. It is the main content of the principle of memento design pattern and main intention of that memento design pattern. Now we see also known as, it can also be known as token. One more name we can call it as a token is nothing but memento design pattern. And coming to the motivation section, what does the main motto, the structure, the scenario, motivation of that particular internal representation of how it will works. Listen carefully the motivation section. Sometimes it's very necessary to record the internal state of an object. So this is required when we are implementing some checkpoints and undo mechanisms that lets the user back out of some operations, tenant operations, or recover from errors. Here you must save the state information somewhere so that you can restore those objects to their previous states. But here the objects normally encapsulates some or all of their states, and suppose to making it inaccessible to other objects, and we say it is very impossible to save the externally data, and we can say here exposing this state it would violate the encapsulation, so which can compromise whatever the applications. It should available at all times, that is nothing but reliability, and it should be extensible, in the sense extensibility. So here consider for example here a graphical editor that supports the connectivity between the objects here. So a user can connect two rectangles with a line, and the rectangles stay connected when the user moves either of them. Here the editor to make sure that the line stretches to maintain that particular connection. How it will be, look at the diagram here. A well-known way to maintain the connectivity or relationship between those objects is with a constraint solving system. Just we have to be encapsulate this functionality in a constraint solver object. So here the constraint solver records the connection as they are made, and he generates the mathematical equations how that they describes them. So here it solves these equations whenever the user makes a connection, or otherwise he modify the diagram, and the constraint solver object uses the results of this particular calculations, how to arrange the graphics here, so that they should maintain, they could handle the proper connections here. Okay, and coming to this, in this concept we need to supporting the operations like undo. In this application it is not very easy as it may seem. So, and obviously the way we have to be perform that undo a move operation is to store the original distance moved and move the objects back an equivalent distance. So this doesn't guarantee those all objects will appear or not, but where they did before, suppose there is some slack in that particular connection. So in that case simply we are just moving the rectangle back. Listen carefully here. The rectangle back to its original location. So it won't necessarily achieve the desired effect, whatever it may be here. So generally we say the constraint solver object, the public interface it might be insufficient to allow the precise reversal of its effect on other objects. So here the undo mechanism or process, it must work more closely with constraint solver object. So we need to re-establish the previous state, and but we should also avoid exposing the constraint solver object internals to the undo mechanism. So here we can solve this problem based on memento design pattern. A memento design pattern is an object that stores a snapshot of the internal state of another object. So the memento's originator, the undo mechanism, will request a memento from the originator when it needs to checkpoint the originator's state. So here the originator initializes the memento with the particular information at any point of time that should be characterizes it's a current state or not. So only the originator can store and retrieve the particular information from the memento pattern. The memento is it should be opaque to other objects. So in the graphical editor example, just we have to be discussed the constraint solver object, it can act as an originator. So here we need to study the following sequence of events that should be characterizes the undo process, how it will be. See, just the 5 points here we need to study here. First of all, the editor requests a memento from the constraint solver object. It's as a side effect of the move operation. Okay, so here the constraint solver just creates and returns a memento and an instance of the class solver state. In this case, a solver state memento, it contains some data structures and describes the current state of the constraint solver. We need to represent some internal equations and variables. So here based on here later when the user undoes the move operation, so the editor gives the solver state back to the constraint solver object. So based on that particular information in the solver state, and the constraint solver object changes its internal structures to return its equations and variables to their exact previous state, So this arrangement lets the constraint solver maintain the other objects with the information. So it needs to revert to a previous state without exposing its internal structures, and representations. Okay. This is nothing but whatever the sequence of events that should characterize the undo process, how it will be. So you have to be arranged this constraints, solver objects, the other objects with the information whatever we need to suppose it to revert that previous state, just without knowing its need the internal structure and representation. And now we see the applicability in the sense when we are supposed to use that memento design pattern in the sense, a snapshot in the sense some portion of an object state, it must be saved so that it can be restored, so that it can be restored to that state later. Okay. And we have to see one more key point, a direct interface to attaining the state. It would expose the implementation details and break the object's encapsulation, how it will be. And coming to the structure representation here, look at the structure, all of you. It's very important how those classes and objects, the internal representation, how the scenario will be in the sense. Let us see. First of all, the memento at the motivation section we have to be studied that solver state. In the sense, it stores an internal state of the, listen carefully, look at the diagram. It stores the memento, it stores internal state of the originator object. So the memento may store as much as little of the originator internal state it as necessary as its originator's discretion. So we need to protect against we have to be accessed by those objects other than the originator. The memento have effectively two interfaces. How many? Two interfaces. First one is caretaker. It sees a narrow interface to the memento. It can only pass the memento to other objects. And coming to the originator, in contrast, we see it has a wide interface, one that lets it access all the data necessary. We need to restore itself to its previous state. So ideally, only the originator that produced the memento, it would be permitted, we need to suppose it to access the memento's internal state exactly. And coming to the originator section, yet motivation section, it is a constraint solver object. How it creates a memento, it containing a snapshot of its current internal state, so it is used to maintain the memento to restore the internal state, And coming to the caretaker section, it is nothing but undo mechanism at a motivation section. It is mainly responsible for the memento's safekeeping. It never operates on or before we need to examine the content of a memento pattern. Okay, these are the participants to carry out their particular responsibilities, each and every one: memento, originator, caretaker, how it returns the memento state. Okay, it just like look this. Okay, and coming to the collaboration section. Coming to the collaboration, how those classes and objects, how to collaborate, how to carry this request memento from an originator. Look at this diagram, all of you. A caretaker requests a memento from an originator, and just it holds it for a time and passes it back to the originator. So here look at the diagram, the following interaction diagram, how just it's illustrate to you. Okay, sometimes look at the diagram, sometimes the caretaker won't pass the memento back to the originator, and because the originator might never need to revert an earlier state, so here the mementos are passive mementos are passive. Only the originator that created a memento just will assign or retrieve its state. Retrieve in the sense we are getting its state. Okay, this is nothing but collaboration section. In the next video, we seen what are the consequences and implementation, known uses, and what are the related patterns of memento design pattern. Up to now, thank you, one and all.